Hello, and welcome back to the AA NBA podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya.
And today, we have got some huge news. Giannis Antetokounmpo has signed the Supermax to stay in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir. Also, I do want to clarify,
far
we're
away from
recording
my
this
mic for that
Friday morning. We usually record Saturdays
Yeah.
in the afternoon, so if anything drops between then, that's why we missed it.
Yeah. Yep. Antetokounmpo signed the Supermax. What does this mean for the whole NBA?
I mean, it's good for small market teams.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, hey, if you draft an MVP caliber guy, they might stay.
Yeah, I mean, it's, in the last 20 years, or really in the last 10 years, it's kind of felt like and I get it, I get not being loyal to a market, not being loyal to a team because teams aren't loyal to players. I get it, but it is nice to be like, hey, if we don't win a championship on my rookie contract, I might not leave.
Yeah.
That's just, It's been kind of concerning as a small market fan these last couple
there was
years.
a lot of people that were saying if Giannis leaves and goes to a team like Miami or New York or Los Angeles or in a big market, then it's over for smaller market teams.
Yeah, including us. We were both saying.
Yeah, because it's he was the most likely to stay because one, he seems like a pretty loyal guy anyway. Two, he was drafted sort of end of the lottery. The Bucks took a chance on him. And they developed him and everything. So, if that guy doesn't stay, then there's, no hope for any other teams.
Yeah. So it is good to see, the next Antetokounmpo goes to, San Antonio or Sacramento or Indiana or Charlotte. They might not leave.
Mm-hmm.
They might not leave. So, which is better than what it's been the last, 10 years. You see, Kevin Durant and Paul George and LeBron twice.
Kawhi.
Kawhi. I was... And also, I've seen people bring up the point, Giannis could have fucked everybody over. He could have gone and formed a super team. And, he could have gone to the Clippers. He could have gone to the Lakers. He could have gone to... I wouldn't really say that Dallas and Miami really count as super teams if they added him. I guess Miami, but not Dallas, really, because they would probably give up Porzingis.
Because, with Miami, Jimmy is obviously very good, but they don't have, that MVP caliber player like Luka,
Yeah, but they've got two All-Stars. Luka and Bam are both All-Stars, and
very
adding
different
an MVP.
Tiers of All-Stars, though.
I mean, I guess, but I think I wouldn't consider the Warriors a super team if it was just Curry and Durant. I consider Draymond and Clay being there both as All-Stars is what made them a super team for me.
Yeah.
So that's why
I guess if you use the term
consider
super team with the Mavericks, it really depends on if Kristaps can play.
Yeah, that too. Because he's probably at his peak, he's probably better than Bam.
Yeah.
I don't know though. If he's able to stay healthy and play.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And, if it doesn't work out, Giannis is still going to be, he's what, 26?
Yeah, 26.
So it kicks in, he's still on his regular contract this year. This extension doesn't kick in until next season, or next season. So he'll be a Buck for the next, ideally, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work out and they don't win a championship, I mean, first of all, he can always force a trade if he doesn't feel like he wants to be there anymore.
Right.
Or he could always leave because he's still going to be in his prime at 32. LeBron and guys like LeBron have gotten...
LeBron's a special case because...
He is a special case, but, there are guys who have gotten huge
contracts I get what you're saying.
Chris Paul. Chris Paul was 32 when he went to Houston.
Right. I get what you're saying. LeBron is a very special case in the sense that he's...
No, he is. He's the first guy that's signing, max extensions into his late 30s.
Right.
I get what you're saying. But, there are guys who... Usually early 30s is the last big contract you get in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe with modern medicine that'll start to change a little bit. But... And Giannis also, he could... Technically, this only ties him with Milwaukee for 5 years because I think he has an option after the 4th year. So the end of this contract and the first 4 years of the next one. Either way, Milwaukee's got time now. They have the assets named Giannis Antetokounmpo to continue to contend. They're going to be an excellent team in the East for years to come.
Hopefully.
And, they're going to wheel and deal. Like, they're having this commitment from Giannis. I'm sure that he was like, look, if I give you guys this commitment, you have to go out and get me stars if it's not working. Like,
they did, though. They got him Drew Holiday.
Exactly. They got him Drew Holiday. Like, they got him Chris Middleton. They got him. Like, they've clearly been
they tried to get
Bogdan
to
go out and get his guys.
The thing is, at this point, like, if Giannis can't figure it out, that's on him. Like, you can't blame the organization much more after that.
No, yeah. But, just now that I'm thinking about it, the Bucks have gone out and gotten, like, pretty much everybody that it seems like Giannis wanted. Like, they got Bledsoe. They got Kyle Korver. They got Drew Holiday. They re-signed Middleton. Like, they got Budenholzer. Like, they've gotten everybody that works with Giannis, that it seems like Giannis wanted to be with. So, except for Bogdan, I think he also said I think there was a report that came out about Bradley Beal. Like,
you got to be realistic about it.
Yeah, you're not going to get Bradley Beal, probably. You have to give up a lot. But the organization is clearly willing to give up assets, wheel and deal. I mean, they just gave up, like, fucking 5 first-round picks for Drew Holiday. Like, that's insane.
All right, so what we got up next?
All right, so how about we talk about the Clippers first? Because the Clippers are in some shit right now.
Yeah, this is the thing about Jerry West, right?
Yeah, okay. So let me pull up legal alerts, just make sure I have all the correct information. So
I know they're being sued.
The NBA has launched an investigation on the Clippers after reports surfaced that Jerry West is being sued by a man who claims West owes him $2.5 million for his role in landing Kawhi on the Clippers. So basically, these are claims of tampering from unknown.
This is some random dude trying to finesse his way out of $2.5 million.
Probably. I mean, unless it's like Kawhi's uncle or something.
But Kawhi's uncle is probably getting paid by Kawhi, so like.
Yeah, I mean, I this is gonna resolve itself. Like, the NBA almost never actually punishes people for tampering. Like, the only time I can even think of it is when Magic Johnson got fined like $500,000 for like his saying stuff about Paul George while he was still a Pacer, which like was actually tampering.
Yeah.
So, like unless you blatantly like say like try to recruit people while they're still on a contract with another team, you're not going to get caught for tampering.
Yeah.
So
it was just during
seems like
the
just some
moratorium
crazy
period,
guy,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not going to get any money. Sorry, dude. You're going to end up paying more in lawyer fees than you're going to get out of it. So.
For real. All right, up next, we have got some developments with the James Harden case. James Harden, like, what do we want to call this? James Harden situation?
Saga, fiasco.
Sweepstakes.
Lottery.
So, Jimothy Harden.
Jimothan,
Jimadiah, Jim Harden. A lot of shit's going down. So last night, which was Thursday, there were like 3 different conflicting reports about
from the Sixers.
About the Sixers' willingness to give up Ben Simmons. Yeah. So it's been said for like the last, since James Harden requested a trade, that the Sixers would not be willing to give up Simmons or Embiid in a trade package. They want to retain both of them. They're willing to give up pretty much anybody else and picks. Yeah, which would make it impossible.
But then
there was a scenario.
There was like rumors that Simmons was actually put in trades.
Yeah, it was like Simmons, Mike Scott, and like 3 first-round picks for Harden. Was like I saw that was the main scenario I saw being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
And then like an hour after that report dropped, Daryl Morey came out and was like, "We are not trading Ben Simmons. He's an important part of our future."
Yeah,
which
I kind of like. There's 2 ways to look at it. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No. I was just thinking.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is there's 2 ways to look at it. There's the way of, like, Daryl Morey is number 1 in that front office. If he says it, then they're not going to trade Ben Simmons. But then there's also a way to look at it as, like, the rumors about them trading Ben Simmons said that they weren't very close to getting a deal done anyway. So having those rumors out there is bad. So if you're the general manager, you want to make sure that until you have something finalized or close to finalized, you don't want to outwardly say, like, hey, we're looking to trade this guy.
And quite frankly, this is going to be one of those situations where somebody, like, says, like, it's like that thing, like, there are multiple things like this where Paul George is the guy that comes to mind. Like, I am not leaving. Indiana / Oklahoma City / Los Angeles is my home. I want to be here. And then, like, within the year, he's gone. So this just...
Well, Ben Simmons never outwardly said that.
No, but Daryl Morey's saying He's saying we're not going to trade Ben Simmons, and it's like, this just in, Ben Simmons traded to Houston for, like, you know, whatever, like a bag of chips or James Harden.
Same thing.
So,
I mean, James Harden's really not a good basketball player.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah. So you should just come to the Pacers because you're so bad.
Yeah, they're probably going to be the only team willing to give him a contract.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I would do it, James. If you're listening, like, force your way to the Pacers. You might get some playing time on that team. I wouldn't say that about any other team.
I don't know about that. I think that's a little...
Yeah, you think so?
That's a little bit of an exaggeration. Yeah.
But you know what I was thinking about? Because, like... it's not like the same situation, but I was thinking, like, what if they just completely miscommunicated on a trade, like with like the 2 teams, and then that got me thinking, like, of the time I forget who was trading with the Grizzlies, but it was like they thought they were getting Dylan Brooks, but the Grizzlies thought they were trading away Marshawn Brooks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was like, what if that just happened?
Didn't that trade fall through?
Because they didn't want Marshawn Brooks, whatever the team was.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. And then the other developing thing from a different James Harden suitor, the Heat are willing to give up Tyler Herro in a trade regarding James Harden, but will not include both Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro.
Wow, breaking
What do you
news.
think about this?
Franchise not willing to give up solid rookie for one of the best players in the league is now willing to give up that solid rookie. Wonderful. What fantasy do Heat fans live in where Tyler Herro is as valuable as James Harden?
Dude, I know. It's so... The bubble has not been better for anybody than Tyler Herro.
He's a superstar.
He's getting, like, MVP. He's going to get, like, MVP chance whenever he makes a 3 in Miami now. Like,
I love Tyler Herro as much as the next guy. He's dope. But come on.
I don't. I hate him, but, like...
Like, Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson combined is, like, the value of a good all-star. And you're like, no, we can't give them both up for James Harden. Let's not get crazy.
If the Clippers got Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson and, like, 2 first-round picks for Paul George, I would consider that a pretty decent trade.
I would consider, not for Paul George. I think that's overpaying for PG. But I'm also not very high on PG right now.
I mean, I'm not either, but, like, I think if you can get, like, a top 25 player for both of them in a first-round pick or 2, like,
I think it's got to be,
absolutely.
like, top 15 if you're giving up both of them in picks.
Yeah, I guess
just
so.
Because, like, just because they're young, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, here's the thing. The Rockets already have John Wall. They already have Boogie Cousins. I don't think that they're going to be, after another week of seeing John Wall play in preseason, I don't think that they're going to be bad enough to tank without Harden.
And Christian Wood played well in their last game.
And Christian Wood played really well. So he might actually, I mean, he's kind of using up his good games quota early. Like, he only gets about 25 a year, so.
I don't know. He might extend that quota this season.
30 or 35.
I mean, yeah.
Plays well for, like, half the season. We're not an anti-Christian Wood podcast, by the way. We just think he's been very, very overrated
And we also have a friend that's
like,
a very big Christian Wood fan, so it's very fun to poke fun at him.
Yeah. But, like, everybody was like, yeah, Christian Wood got the Malik Beasley treatment because, like, they were both good for, like, 15 or 20 games right before the coronavirus shut shit down. And everybody was like, they're the best players of all
Christian
time.
Wood does seem to be mentally stable right now. Can't say the same about Malik
Yeah, he
Beasley.
does. And I think he's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be, like, an all-star or anything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, people are like, dude, Christian Wood's going to be an all-star starter this year. Watch him. And it's like, yeah, it'll be good, but not that.
Yeah. But I guess regardless of who they get, like if they get Ben Simmons and 3 first-round picks, they might be a playoff team. Like Ben Simmons and John Wall together are worrying because they're both pretty ball dominant players. Like neither of them are like lights out shooters. Like especially not Ben Simmons, John Wall. I mean, John Wall is a much better shooter than Ben Simmons, but he's still not like good.
Yeah, he's like
really
okay.
Good. Yeah. And then, Boogie, I think that team is all right. I think they're definitely contending for a playoff spot. Maybe not a playoff team.
Well, I mean, I said this in the party yesterday about, like, even though John Wall's contract is insanely massive, there's only 1 year left on it. And now that people have seen him play, it's a little bit less of a risk because you know what you're getting back.
Yeah, like a team. Are you saying a team might trade for John Wall?
Right. I'm saying, like, if you get Ben Simmons, because he can't coexist with John Wall, it's just not going to work. So, if you can trade John Wall, you're not going to get equal value back for John Wall just because of that contract. But now that people know what he's playing like and what to expect, you can get, like, a few solid shooters for him, I think.
That's the thing, though, is you already traded Russell Westbrook for him.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get – you keep going down in value from Russell Westbrook. Like, you're trading Russell Westbrook for John Wall, and you're trading John Wall for, like, a couple decent shooters and a pick.
But think about it this way. Like, you're going down in value, but your team fit is, like, when you have Ben Simmons, value doesn't matter as much as team fit because he plays such a specific way. So, like, your value will go down, but, like, if you can
We've got a Shams bomb.
Oh, Shams bomb? What's up?
Jeremy Lin
is
finalizing a deal with the Golden State Warriors.
Yes,
letter of clearance from the CBA. Let's go!
My goat, Jeremy Lin.
Dude, that's so fucking sick. And he might actually get some playing time on that team because they are not that deep.
Makes me so happy.
Dude, let's go.
Oh, man.
Dude, okay, that's so sick.
Bro, Jeremy Lin's about to return to all-star form.
Yeah, dude. Linsanity, baby. 8 years later, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The squeakquel.
No, but, like, I hopefully...
Right, but back to what you were
saying.
What
I was saying
about John
was,
Wall
like,
and Ben Simmons.
The fit is a little less, or a little more important than value in this case. Because, like, yeah, you traded away Russell Westbrook and you got John Wall back, which isn't great in and of itself. And then if you trade John Wall for some shooters, you essentially traded Russell Westbrook for some shooters. But the problem with that is if you keep Ben Simmons and John Wall, you're much more likely to miss the playoffs than if you have Ben Simmons and some shooters.
That's true, and I get where you're coming from. But, like, on paper...
Oh, yeah.
those are
then it's
some
not great.
Bad trades.
Right.
My other thing with it is, like, okay, you have Russell Westbrook and James Harden. You have basically, like, 2 top 20 players. And you flip them for Ben Simmons, who's basically a wild card, and a team around Ben Simmons. I don't hate that, but I think a lot of people would hate that.
No, that's fair. But a team around Ben Simmons...
I feel like that would get pretty much clowned on.
I mean, think about it this way, Rockets fans. James Harden doesn't want to be there.
Here's what I found.
What?
My Siri went off.
James Harden doesn't want to be there. Russ didn't want to be there. So you're already playing with lowered value. Ben Simmons, without Joel Embiid, has proven to be a very good player. Now, if you can build a very specific team around him, he can be even better. And
you have him locked down for 5 years. I think his extension kicks in this year, so you also don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Just saying.
And you still have some solid players, so it's not ideal, definitely, but with what you've been given, like they're in a really shitty situation right now. So
yeah, this is shades of what they did 8 years ago, where they were like, okay, well, we're kind of in this transition period, like, T-Mac and Yao, like, either have left recently or retired. We have a team that's all right. Like, we've got a couple guys, but we're not good enough to make the playoffs. We're not bad enough to tank. How about we take a chance and we trade for this, young, really good guy? And, I think the Rockets could be back in contention if they build a very specific team around Ben Simmons. I want to see this happen, mostly because I want to see Ben Simmons on the Rockets and how they build a team around him. Actually, mostly because I want to see Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid on different teams because they're terrible for each other.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think James Harden makes... It's always interesting when, like, 4 teams in a conference are contending, and I think that this would make the East very entertaining. Like, you've got the Celtics, the Sixers, the Bucks, the Nets, and the Heat, who could all realistically win it. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, like, the Pacers and the Wizards and the Hawks, who could all realistically knock one of those teams out of the playoffs. Like, they could all win a playoff series, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you got some teams with some guys, like, and you got some guys who can win championships. So I love this, and it would also, quite frankly, it would even out the East and the West.
Yeah. All right, what we got next?
All right, so we got 2 things. How about we go through our top 10 players? This is our final NBA preseason preview. We did East 2 weeks ago. We did West last week. Now we're going to do our award predictions and our top 10 players. We just decided to do our top 10 players last night, but it's always fun to do.
Yeah.
So how about we go through our top 10 players and we'll finish with award predictions?
Sounds good. And we are including players that were injured last season.
We are going to...
As long as
so Curry, KD... I mean, those are the only ones that should be in either of our top 10 anyway that were injured for a majority of the year last year.
Yeah.
The only one that I would even think about putting in would be, like, maybe Clay, but probably not. Like, he's the closest.
And he's not even playing last year. Season.
Yeah, exactly. Clay, maybe John Wall, but no. All right, you want to start?
Are we going 10 to 1?
I think I started last time. Yeah.
All right.
I think I started last time.
My number 10. Damian Lillard. Fuck. Do you have the same?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Dude, I think our 1 and 2 are gonna be the same, and our 10 is gonna be the same, and that's it.
Hopefully. And again, Dame is really good, but I don't think there's much explaining that needs to be done. I mean, there's players that are better than him, and the Blazers just kind of had a down season last year, so.
Yeah, I also have Lillard at 10. By the way, you're smoking crack if you think he's better than Steph Curry. just saying.
Yeah.
Like, he is the second best point guard in the league. There's no shame in being number 2 when the guy who's number 1.
LeBron a point guard, but
I guess, yeah, but I don't really. But there's no shame in being number 2 to a guy who is pretty much consensus top 2 at his position all time.
Yeah, and a unanimous MVP.
Yeah, if you're like a shooting guard when Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant was playing, or like a small forward when LeBron's playing,
which
there's no shame in being second best because you're still probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But yeah, Damian Lillard is fucking awesome. I'm really high on. I mean, you know this. I'm super high on Portland going into the season. I think I have them as the 4 seed in the West. He's finally got like a full team around him that I think plays to his strengths and helps his weaknesses. Mm-hmm. He's a lot of people's like kind of sexy dark horse MVP pick. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a bit extreme, I'd say.
If I'm being super realistic, like he might get a vote or two thrown his way, but like I don't think there's any way that I would have him like 4th or 5th in my MVP rankings going into the year.
Yeah.
But all right, who's your number 9?
My number 9 is Nikola Jokic.
All right.
I have him here. So initially when I made this, I didn't include KD and Curry. So I had Jimmy Butler and Tatum, but now they've been pushed out. But I have Jokic here because the Nuggets are a very, very good team. He's the sort of the motor. Is that the phrase? He's the motor of the offense or something. Is that what it's called?
He's the X factor.
I don't know. The offense runs through him. Everyone knows what Jokic can do. He's the best center in the league, and I don't think much more needs to be explained.
Yeah. My number 9, I've got Luka Doncic, the donk. I really like Luka Doncic. He's been, you know this, he was one of my favorite players like the second he came into the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really liked him on the Mavericks his rookie year. He was super exciting. And he's pretty much everybody's MVP pick this year. I think that he's getting a little overrated just because he played well against the Clippers.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mavericks are going to be that good this year, especially without Porzingis. Now, he could be like next level, carry them to a top 5 seed or a top 4 seed or a 3 seed or something insane. And if so, then he's probably my MVP, but he's not even my pick to win MVP. Like, last year, I think everybody would consider that kind of his breakout year.
Yeah.
Even though he really, like, he was great his rookie year. Like, he probably could have been an all-star if rookies ever made the all-star game. The thing with Luka is just, like, I want to see him do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see him play the full season. Like, I know he missed a little bit of time his rookie year and last year. Like, he just misses stray weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
I just want to see him do it. I'm not fully sold that Luka Doncic is like a top 3 to 5 player in the league yet. And I think that this year he's gonna fully be like, okay, well, fuck you. I am a top 3 to 5 player, and good on him because I want to see him do it because I like him. But also, let's see it.
Yeah.
let's go ahead and see it. So that's why I got him 9. I couldn't really put him above a ton of guys that I have above him.
That's fair. My number 8 or is it your turn to do number 8 or am I doing number 8?
No, it's your number 8.
My number 8 is Luka. You basically covered everything. Another thing I want to see that I don't think you mentioned is, like, I want to see him go up in the standings because, like, he was the 9 seed and then the 7 seed. Now, you got to get into the top 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Also, like, his defense.
Yeah.
I would like to see him be like a really, like, I know that he's a better defender than most guys. I would say, like, most EuroLeague guys come into the league being, but, like, I just want to see his defense, like, improve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he averaged a steal and 20% of a block last year. Like, let's see those numbers go up. Let's see his defensive win shares go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just want to see it. Number 8, I got Nicole Jokic.
Okay.
I think our lists are pretty much going to zigzag from here on out. Nicole Jokic is the best center of the league, like you said. He's a very rare player where he is both the best player on a team and the X factor of the team he is on. If he's playing well, that team is arguably the best team in the Western Conference. And if he is not playing well, that team sucks.
Yeah.
They are, I think I predicted them to be like 3rd in the West this year, or 2nd in the West.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2nd in the West behind the Lakers. They got a crazy good team. I think Jamal Murray has the potential to be an all-star. They should be really good, and Nikola Jokic is, I think he's gonna be a guy that gets like an MVP vote or 2 this year. Like, he's recognized as pretty much a consensus top 10 player. Some people have him top 5. Some people don't have him in their top 10. He's a little weird like that, but I think he is very good. Not quite above any of the guys I have above him, but So that's why I got him there. You pretty much got everything that I had to say about him.
Cool. What are we on now? 7?
Yeah.
My number 7, Stephen Curry.
Ooh.
Now I have him a little low, I know, but he didn't play much last season, and he's only played like one preseason game, or I think he played 2. So like I can't really.
He had like 30 points last night, I think.
Yeah, so like I can't put him much higher just because like he didn't play last season. So I'm just really going off like he's coming off an injury. Clay's not there anymore, and we just got to see him play before I can like put him up a little higher.
Yeah. All right, my number 7. I got Jim Harden. Harden's another one of those players where like he could be 3, he could be 5. I got him 7 because the guys I have above him, I just don't think he's better than like just straight up. He's always gonna be a guy that's an MVP candidate. Like, if he's in his prime, he's going to probably finish top 3 in MVP voting because he provides so much value on the scoring end.
Right.
The problem with James Harden is he doesn't really win in the playoffs, which is something that, besides, like, one of these guys, cannot be said for. Mm-hmm. And even the one of these guys I have has been consistently a little bit better than James Harden in the playoffs. Or not worse than James Harden in the playoffs, that's for sure. The other thing, he always has about 10 games at the beginning of the year where he has to play himself into shape, which is something that none of the players above him have. So that's just, I mean, I got him at 7, but really he's on the level of 6 through 4.
Like, all these guys are very close. I mean, it's not like...
Yeah, exactly. There are only like 3 guys that I can say are in a league of their own ahead of pretty much the entire pack.
Right.
So that's why I got Harden at 7.
All right, my number 6 is James Harden. You covered everything. I mean, this is going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you've pretty much covered everything. We know what we're getting from Harden at this point, and he is never going to break into the top 3.
Yeah. My number 6 is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is very good.
He is.
Shocker.
He is hot take. Bringing those back. Hot take. Yeah. Kevin Durant is very good.
Very hot take. Kevin Durant is pretty good. I can't put Kevin Durant higher than that, though, because the Achilles is very concerning. Just straight up. There have been very few players that have come back and been the player they were before that. And I didn't even have him in my top. Like, I had 2 or 3 players better than him, even when everybody had him as their second best player in the league. So, and I also, we've said this before, or I've said this before, I want to see Kevin Durant be doubled again. Like, I want to see what he does when he's doubled, because he hasn't been doubled in like 5 years. I want to see, and I think he's going to be fine. Like, I think his offense has evolved enough to the point where it doesn't matter if he's got 3 people, or 1 person on him, or 3 people on him. I just want to see it. Obviously, he was very important to the Warriors. I think the Nets will be good, but I don't think he's better than any of the 5 guys I have above him.
That's fair. My number 5, were you on 5 or 6? 5. My number 5 is also Kevin Durant. Sorry, my list is all numbered weirdly because I had to like throw in KD and Curry at the end there. But
it's okay.
So I also have Kevin Durant. Again, you covered everything. I do have him higher than Curry, which I noticed that you do not. Just because I think he's more of like, the Achilles is bad, but like I've said this before, his defense might take a bit of a hit, but like his scoring doesn't rely too much on like explosiveness, I guess.
Yeah,
and
crazy athleticism.
With like medical technology improving, he might not be 100%, but if he's 90%, he's still top 5 in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. My number 5, I've got Stephen Curry. I think we flipped, or you had Curry 7.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. Steph Curry is the most important part of the Warriors dynasty. Even if they have Kevin Durant, if they don't have Steph Curry, they're not winning any of those championships, just period. Steph Curry is the most important player. He's the Tim Duncan of that dynasty. He's the, Michael Jordan of that dynasty. If you take him out, He is the X factor on all those championship teams.
Hold on, Aiden.
Yeah.
My earbuds disconnected. Give me a sec.
Okay. So I'll just vamp.
Well,
Steph
they can
Curry's the
hear
X
you, bro,
factor.
on the mic.
He is the best player on that team. He's won 2 MVPs. Like, prime Steph Curry is a top 3 player in the league. He fell out of mind because he was hurt last year, but he was so fucking good, and people seem to have forgotten how good he was. Aditya, you back? Aditya, how's it going?
What's up?
How's it going? Are you back?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep vamping. Steph Curry, I mean, there's not enough good shit that I can say about Steph Curry. He's a little bit of a weaker defender than some of these guys, but he makes up for it on the offensive end, and he's a sufficient enough defender. Like, he's not shutting down anybody, but nobody's gonna score 50 on him consistently. DJ's having a lot of trouble with his earbuds, so I don't really know.
I'm back, babe. I'm back.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't stop your recording.
Sorry
or anything,
about
did you?
that.
Okay.
No, my recording's fine. It was just my earbuds disconnected.
Okay. Yeah. I was just talking about Steph Curry.
Cool.
And how I think he was pretty good.
He is pretty good. Another hot take. So we're on number 4 now, right?
Yeah.
My number 4, Kawhi Leonard.
What?
Just because
Okay.
he didn't make the conference finals.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, everyone knows Kawhi. He would be higher if he made the conference finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Anthony Davis. Wait, did you have anything else to say about it?
About Kawhi or Anthony Davis?
Kawhi.
No.
Okay. Yeah, my number 4 is Anthony Davis. He's really, really good. He's another guy that's gotten like a tiny bit, like he was already like pretty much a top 10 player before the finals run, but I've seen people putting him at like 2. Like they have him and LeBron 1 and 2, which I feel is a little bit ridiculous because if he doesn't have LeBron, he's not top 5 probably. Or he's not able to do the stuff that he does that makes him a top 5 player. However, he is so fucking important to that team.
Mm-hmm.
If the Lakers don't have him, obviously they don't win the championship. He is at times the best player on that team. He is on a team with LeBron. He is at times the best player on that team. His defense is so important. I think the Lakers were the second best defense in the league, behind only the Bucks. He was in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He was. Some say he was robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't agree with that, but some say he was. He's so ridiculously important. He can score 30 points a night consistently. He can get 15 rebounds consistently. He can get 3 blocks consistently. Like, he does it all. He's so good.
Yeah.
All right, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Anthony Davis. I just have him.
Oh.
Yeah. You covered everything. You said it perfectly. Without him, LeBron's not winning a ring. Without LeBron, he's not winning a ring. They sort of need each other, which is very beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you said it all. He's one of the some people argue he was the Defensive Player of the Year snub. I disagree. I think Giannis earned it. But regardless, he's a top two or 3 defender in the league.
Yeah.
He's going to give you 27, 28 points, 13, 14 boards along with it. He can shoot. Yeah. He can dominate the post. He can do it all. He's just a complete player.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning back-to-back MVP. He is, I think he's probably going to play like an MVP again this year. Whether or not he wins it is a different story. Whether or not he gets Defensive Player of the Year is a different story. But I think he's the best defender in the league. He's the best defender in the Eastern Conference. But he just doesn't have the playoff hardware to back it up. I would say he is not in the playoff. He's not in my doghouse for the playoffs that James Harden is, because he's not been consistently horrible. Like he's had 2 bad playoff series in the last 2 years, which, are very bad.
Yeah.
But he's not been bad enough in the playoffs where I can say that he's less of a player because of it yet. Like, I think he's still got time. I think they have to make a run this year. But yeah, but he's good at everything. Like, it just depends on like whether or not he's good at it in the playoffs.
Right.
But during the year, he's so ridiculously good. I think he's been like the best player in the league through the regular season these last couple of years. I mean,
well, he's a
he won the
2-time MVP. So
yeah. But yeah, so the guys I have above him though have backed it up in the playoffs.
That's fair.
So,
my number two is Giannis. I mean, he's a 2-time MVP, defensive player of the year now. He's insane. Obviously, he's still got to figure it out in the playoffs, but when they have a better team now, they had a Drew Holiday, and also he's been steadily making strides to improve. It hasn't been like quick, and it's been a slow process, but he has been improving as a shooter ever so slightly, and he's willing to take them now, and
cough cough Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Ben.
You.
But he's only 26. He's getting better. He's already a 2-time MVP. And, the thing with Giannis is, so many people kind of, obviously because he underperforms in the playoffs, but, so many people see those playoff runs and then just completely forget that he's a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, I've seen him at, 6 on some lists.
Yeah, it's insane.
Behind Durant and Curry, who haven't played in a year.
It's insane.
And by the way, who he was better than last time they both played. He was better than Kevin Durant last time Kevin Durant played. Just saying.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have him at 2. I feel like people just kind of forget how good he is in the regular season.
Yeah. Yep. All right, my number 2 is Kawhi Leonard. He's the reverse Giannis. He's, for me at least, because, he had that one shitty Game 7, and everybody was just like, oh, Kawhi Leonard, that guy's probably never been the most important. Yeah, that guy's probably never been the most important player on 2 deep playoff runs.
He's totally not a 2-time Finals MVP. No, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also another guy who's a really fucking good defender. If he actually played the whole season, he'd probably win Defensive Player of the Year, but he won't because it's Kawhi. I enjoy Kawhi. I like watching Kawhi. I have forgiven Kawhi for the San Antonio fiasco. That is not to say that I am rooting for the Clippers. I'm rooting for the Clippers because they're not the Lakers, but I don't want either of them to win. So, but yeah, Kawhi's so excellent. He's got the hardware to back it up. 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs. He's what, 28, 29?
I think he's 29.
Yeah, he's everything that Giannis isn't in the playoffs.
Yeah. But Giannis is everything that he isn't in the playoff or in the regular season, meaning he actually plays games.
Which is he plays, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I got Kawhi too.
All right, number 1. Let's say it together.
You want to yeah.
3, 2, 1. Jeremy
Kyle
Lin.
Kuzma.
Oh,
damn it!
Shit.
All right, so this is where we
part ways, I guess. Yeah. Jeremy Lin, he can do it all. He doesn't miss a shot. He plays excellent defense. No, but number 1's LeBron.
Yeah, the best player that either of us have ever been alive to watch.
Yep. He
is
proved it last season.
Yeah, he proved why he was the best player last season. Even though I wanted to say that Giannis or Kawhi was the best player in the league, it's LeBron.
It's LeBron.
We all knew that it was LeBron. It's just like...
Which sucks because LeBron... I don't like LeBron because of what he's done to the Pacers. And I want him to no longer be number one.
But he is number one.
This
I feel
asshole keeps being good.
Yeah, it's... he's getting up there. He's eventually going to have to stop being good, but it feels like that day is not going to come.
You know what's crazy? I feel
soon.
like it's more realistic that LeBron retires than it is that LeBron drops under 20 points per game.
Oh, we've talked about this on the podcast before. I think we both agree on this. I think he'll retire before he regresses.
Yeah. He's a freak.
But that also feels like it's like 4 or 5 years away at least.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's still playing like he's 28.
Yeah. He's ridiculous. He's so fucking good. And he's a big part of the reason why I think why the Lakers are my runaway favorite to win it.
I think they're everyone's runaway favorite to win it right now.
They have 2 top 5 players.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's good. He's really fucking good.
All right, now we got awards.
Yeah. Do you want to let's end it with MVP.
Okay.
And how about we start out with the most boring one, most improved player.
Ooh, actually, I don't know, bro. I got some spicy stuff heating up for this.
All right, how about we go 6th man of the year, actually? Instead.
Okay, you want to start since I started with
I got
list.
Lou Williams.
Okay, cop out answer. I see. Someone's not creative.
Yeah. So here's the thing with 6th man of the year, Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, I think are both going to start on the Lakers. I think Dennis Schroeder made it clear that he doesn't want to come off the bench, and Montrezl Harrell, I don't think he can come off the bench because I don't think they have a better center than him. So I think Lou's going to be 6th man of the year. I mean, I think he's still going to score like 18 to 20 points. I don't think that they're like I was thinking of like maybe Duncan Robinson wins it, but I think he's probably going to start. Like the 6th man of the year is difficult because like you don't know who's going to start and who isn't.
Yeah.
I was also like, well, maybe Rodney Hood gets it like on Portland. He can get you some points. Norman Powell maybe, but I was like, he might start though. Like OG Anunoby, he probably won't start, but he's like their 7th or 8th man anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just was like, well, fuck it. Lou Williams always finishes like top 2 or 3 in 6th man of the year. So
Right.
I'll just put him there.
My 6th man of the year is Eric Bledsoe. I think he comes off the bench for Alonzo because they want to keep that Alonzo Zion connection. And I mean he's a starting quality player. He's very good. So I think if he comes off the bench, he'll win the award.
It's like Lou.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Most improved player. Who you got?
My most improved player is Josh Jackson.
Ooh.
Just because I think someone has to score on the Pistons, and he's been pretty solid in preseason, so I think he'll end up averaging like 17 or 18 points per game, and that'll be enough to win him the award.
That's a little insane.
I mean,
I guess you're right. Somebody has to score on the Pistons, but Josh Jackson scoring 18 points a game is a little much.
I mean, who else is going? Jeremy Grant's been ass. Killian Hayes can't score.
I think that it's more likely that Jeremy Grant wins the most improved player than it is Josh Jackson does.
Yeah, but he sucks.
He does suck. My most improved player is Dante Divincenzo from the Milwaukee Bucks. Dante Divincenzo was traded and then untraded. And he's kind of become weird. Like, he was a little overrated, then he was a little underrated, and now nobody talks about him. So let's look at Dante's stats from last year. Last year, as a second-year player, he was 23 years old. He averaged 9 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, which was a jump from the 5 points, 1 assist, 2.5 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
He steadily improved. I think he is going to get attention because the Bucks are going to be good. And I think he might score like 15 points a game for them. I think he's going to... He was also kind of a guy that I was thinking about for 6th man of the year, but I don't think he's going to score as much as Lou. And I think he might start. I think he's going to be pretty good for them. And, I think he's going to get – usually it's a guy – most improved player is a guy on a team that's really good or pretty good, like the Pacers, who were pretty good when Vic got it, who were pretty good when Granger got it. And then last year the Raptors were really good when Siakam got it.
Yeah.
And I think the Bucks – I think he's just going to be pretty good on the Bucks. He's going to – I think he might, potentially – add 6 or 7 points to his scoring output, so that's why I got him there. He's kind of a fun pick.
My only thing with that is
Vincenzo.
I think he's not gonna be as productive just because they added Drew Holiday. You know what I mean? So now they have that
fair.
3-headed top, and then I think everyone else is gonna kind of get less touches.
That's fair, but they also they don't have George Hill, they don't have Bledsoe. So, guys who kind of play his position and would take his minutes. They basically swapped 2 guys who would take his minutes to 1 guy who's going to take some minutes. And, he's a shooting guard. He played point guard last year. He played shooting guard his rookie year. Wait, no. What am I looking at?
What?
I was looking at Luka's basketball reference for some reason. He's a shooting guard. He played shooting guard the first 2 years of his career. So he started 24 games last year at shooting guard for them. I can't really think of who would be their starting shooting guard because I think they're going to start Drew at the point. But regardless, I think he's going to be pretty solid for them, and he's going to get a minutes increase. I mean, he averaged 18 minutes a game last year.
I don't know.
He averaged 23 minutes a game last year. I think he might play more 28 to 30.
That's fair.
But that's kind of a long shot pick. Other guys, and we made the rule for ourselves that we weren't going to pick a second-year player. I think we both think that Cam Reddish is going to take a big jump, though, right?
Yes. If second-year players ever won Most Improved Player, he'd be my pick.
Cam Reddish, maybe R.J. Barrett.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though, because he's on the Knicks, and the Knicks are a hellhole.
Yeah.
All right, who is your pick? You want to do Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year? Which one do you want to do?
We'll do Coach of the Year.
All right.
My Coach of the Year. All right. So, this goes 2 ways. I didn't really know. It depends on voters. I think I sort of mentioned this before we started recording. But it's if they vote based on just whoever has the best record in the league like they usually do, I think it'll be Frank Vogel because the Lakers will be the best team in the league. But I do think Steve Nash could win it if the Nets are a top 2 or 3 seed.
Ooh, I like that pick a lot. He is not even a guy I considered.
I just think, even if they're not, the best team, Steve Nash is a fan favorite. Everyone loves him. And the Nets are going to be good. So it's he has a very good chance of winning.
All right, I like that pick. My picks have some caveats because Coach of the Year sometimes goes to a young coach, a coach who's in his first couple years, and sometimes it goes to a guy whose team really improves. Nate McMillan has always been in the conversation because the Pacers are always better than they should be, or always were better than they should be under him. So I've got a caveat to mine. If the Suns make the playoffs, which I have them projected to be the 9 seed, but shit always changes in the West. I think I said that their ceiling is the 5 or the 6 seed. If they make the playoffs, which they very well could, I think that Monty Williams is the Coach of the Year. If they do not make the playoffs, I think it's Lloyd Pierce. I've talked about it before. I'm very high on Lloyd Pierce this year. I think he's a pretty good coach. And I think the Hawks are going to be good. And sometimes they give it to a team. If a team jumps out of, the high lottery into the playoffs, that coach gets it a lot.
Yeah. My only thing with that is, that team's made so many acquisitions that they're kind of expected to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So it's
they but at the same time, even among our friend group, we're both high on the Hawks, but 2 of our friends are not.
No, I mean, but the general
we were kind of talking about the Hawks
is they're a weird team because I don't know if they'll make it just this year because they have all the players have to gel together and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's with all the players they've added, they're kind of expected to make the playoffs by the general NBA fandom, I guess. So if they don't, it's a disappointment. But if they do, it's kind of expected.
If they don't, I think he probably gets fired.
Yeah.
But if they do, I think they're going to be like the 6th seed. If they do, I think he's going to win it. So I don't know. And if theoretically both teams make the playoffs, I think Monty Williams gets the nod because they've shown steady improvement. Like they went from the team with the 4th or 5th overall pick, and then they got I think they were like the 13 seed, and then they were the 10 seed, and then they could potentially be like the 6 or the 5 seed. And I think if they do that, then he probably wins it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's always a weird award because, like, guys who – it's always like, okay, well, who has the best team? Like, Budenholzer won it a couple years ago, even though I think that probably should have gone to McMillan because, Victor Oladipo gets hurt, like, and that team still stays pretty good. But, regardless, I think you are right about this. The Nets, if they make it and they're really good, I think Steve Nash is probably going to get the nod because he's a first-year coach, too.
Okay. Who are we doing next?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. So now this is another weird one. I've had the same guy I had last year. That's Ben Simmons.
Ooh.
The thing is with Ben Simmons, it's like we know he's one of the best defenders in the league, but I don't know if he's gonna get the votes necessarily.
Do the voters know that?
Right. So it's like with voting. It might probably go to, like, Anthony Davis, especially after Giannis got it this year. But, like, I think it should be Ben Simmons.
Yeah. I have Anthony Davis. I think that Giannis is probably going to be a top 2 defensive player this year, but it was already so close this year. And, Anthony Davis could have easily gotten it. I think the the voting was super close, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was within, like, 10 votes. I think that Anthony Davis is going to be super good. And, obviously, like, the Lakers are going to be a top 3 defense at the very least. They're probably going to be 2 or 1. Anthony Davis is going to be the anchor. He's going to be the best defensive player. And, quite frankly, voter fatigue for Defensive Player of the Year is weird. Like, Dwight Howard won it, like, 3 straight years, and then Ben Wallace won it 4 out of 5 years. And then I don't think anybody else has had any sort of close to a streak like that. Like, those are 2 outliers. Players rarely win it back to back. I think it's got to be Anthony Davis. I think that voter fatigue is going to hit Giannis harder for Defensive Player of the Year than it is for MVP.
Well, I think it's going to hit him regardless because he's won 3 awards in the last 2 years.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I got Anthony Davis as my Defensive Player of the Year.
That's fair.
All right, who is your Rookie of the Year?
My Rookie of the Year is Bol.
What?
Yeah. He's technically a rookie, bro.
I like that pick.
And it'll probably go to, like, here's the thing. My list is who I think will be the best, but, like, the media's going to give it to LaMelo because it's a Ball brother.
I didn't even consider him.
But Bol, bro,
I didn't even think about him.
He's going to be lethal. The Nuggets said he's been, like, popping off in practice. I think, like, I checked one of the stat lines for their preseason games, and, like, he did fine. People forget, like, he was pretty good in college, and then he got hurt and lost all that weight that he put on.
He played, like, 5 games.
Yeah, because he got hurt, he lost all the weight that he put on, and then his draft stock tanked because he was now, like, super skinny.
Before the season, he was projected, like, 6th overall.
Yeah.
Like, consistently, he was a high lottery pick before he got hurt. Then he gets hurt. He falls to the Nuggets in the 2nd round.
Middle of the 2nd round. Like, not even, like, 31, 32.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it was, like, 44 or something stupid.
I think he's going to do it,
like,
man.
We are giving these really good players to the Nets late in the draft, or the Nuggets late in the draft.
Yeah. And think about it, they could have also had Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
Exactly. Like, they're so good at drafting.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't take Bol, like, they knew that Bol was going to be there because they had a first-round pick in the late first round, and then they were like, nah, we're going to wait. He's going to be there still. And then he was.
It's insane. But, he's technically still a rookie because he only played in the bubble, I'm pretty sure. So,
which is bullshit, by the way. He literally played last season.
Yeah, but, NBA. So, Yeah, he's my pick.
Yeah, I hope it's not Bol Bol just because I don't want to have the conversation about what is a rookie again, because that was so stupid. We had it 2 years ago for Simmons and Mitchell.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that was Donovan Mitchell's award.
Yeah. Even if Ben Simmons was a rookie, Donovan Mitchell was better.
Yeah. I got Obi Toppin. I think that Obi Toppin...
You're a big Obi guy.
I am a big Obi guy, but here's the thing. First of all, he's got, like, the second-ranked odds to win it for good reason, because he was probably, like, the best player in the draft this year. And not the best... Not who I'd want to start a franchise with. But he was a guy that was super complete in college. His game is going to translate well to the NBA. And I think he's the best player right now. I mean, he's like 23. So he's going to be like he's playing at an NBA level already. He's been okay in the preseason.
He is on the Knicks.
He is on the Knicks. But I think that's actually better for him because it's a huge market. They're going to be probably a little bit better than they were last year just because like RJ Barrett's going to probably take another step. Like they got a couple guys. Like they should be okay.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Like, even though I don't think Obi Toppin's going to be the best rookie in this class, I think he is probably the best player right now. And it's not the player you'd want to start a franchise with. It's the best player as a rookie.
Michael Carter-Williams won that award.
Yeah, Michael Carter-Williams won it. Like, Carmelo won it over LeBron. It's the best rookie, not the guy who I'd want to have in 5 years.
LeBron won it, I thought. But...
No, Melo won it.
Oh, I thought it was like LeBron won it, but Melo should have won it.
No, LeBron won it and Melo should have won it. No, that's what it was. But, like, the Rookie of the Year does not always go to the best, or the guy who I'd, like, if you ask me, like, out of this draft, who I'd want the most in 5 years, Obi Toppin's probably not in my top 3. But, like, who I'd want right now, like, who I think is probably going to be the best right now, I think it's probably him.
That's fair.
And the other thing is, like, I think we both know LaMelo's probably going to win it because he's going to have, like, 12 points and 8 assists a game, and everybody's going to shit their pants every time he throws a behind-the-back pass.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Obi Toppin, give it some thought. Also, I think Isaac Okoro is probably going to be top 3.
Yeah.
We're both decently high on Isaac Okoro.
The problem is,
right
like,
now
he's on the
was
Cavs, and no one cares about the Cavs. But he is played
He is on the Cavs.
He's the best rookie in preseason, so.
Yeah. I got him as, like, my last pick in fantasy.
Yeah.
Shout out Isaac Okoro. Yeah. So I think that I don't know. It also kind of depends on how good the Knicks are.
Yeah.
Like if the Knicks are a bottom team, I think they're gonna. I don't think he would win it. But if they're like in that 9 to 12 range, I think he might get some consideration.
That's fair.
But I mean, it's so complicated because that's Rookie of the Year is always the weirdest award. Like because nobody can win it back to back. Like you can't be back to back Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So Obi's kind of my pick, but there are like 4 or 5 guys that I have in the mix.
Right. All right. MVP. Is it time?
It is time for MVP, the best award, biggest award. We say the best for last. You want to go first? You want to say it on 3?
No.
I feel like we're gonna maybe have the same.
No, actually, we're not. I'm telling you, because here's the thing. Ooh. I was gonna put Luka, but then it's like everyone puts Luka, and that's super lame. So I picked someone different, actually. So if you want to do yours first, I'll do mine second.
My MVP, my 2020-2021 MVP NBA award show presented by Kia is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Really?
Yeah. Giannis is going to be really fucking good again this year, and everybody's going to know it. And I get it. Players very, very rarely win 3 straight. But I think the narrative is going to be so much like, oh, he's not going to win it. Like, I think people are going to be talking so much about voter fatigue that it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, at least for MVP. Like, people are like, everybody's gonna be so aware, like, oh, Giannis should win it. He's been the best player. That people are gonna not forget to vote for him. I get it. Luka's the sexy pick. He's supposed to improve a lot.
Yeah.
I got Giannis.
The thing with that, though,
Antetokounmpo.
the reason I don't think Giannis will win it, like, obviously voter fatigue is a thing, but it's like, that's not even the thing. I think people aren't going to give him another award until he proves himself in the playoffs.
That is fair. That is a very fair point.
Like, obviously voter fatigue is there, but I don't think it's going to be as much of an impact on his voting as the playoffs.
No, I get it. But also, like, MVP is a regular season award.
That's true.
And I think enough of the voters kind of know that, where it's like, hey, if I get it, he was bad in the second round of the playoffs, but if you take that award away from him because he was bad in the playoffs last year, people are going to be pissed.
That's true.
And I think the Bucks are going to be very good this year. I think they might win like 55 games out of 72.
That's true. That's very possible.
I think they're going to be usually it's the best player on the best team. Or the most important player, like, you know, Steph Curry, when the Warriors went 73-9, won it unanimously. He won it when they were the 1 seed the year prior.
You know what I don't remember exactly where I read this or heard this, but it was like someone saying like they genuinely hope that the Bucks have a worse record in the regular season because they will be like less tired and more prepared to go into the playoffs. Because it was like, if you remember when the Warriors went 73-9, they lost in the playoffs, and then that next season, Draymond was like, "Yeah, we don't care about the regular season anymore. Like, we're not gonna put all that effort into it because it's just not worth it. If you know you're gonna be like a top 1 or 2 seed, there's no point in like, you know, going all out, winning as many games as you can, and like running away with the 1 seed because you're just gonna be that much more tired in the playoffs."
But also, I think the Bucks have to be the 1 seed.
Do you think so?
I think they do. I think it's very important for them to be the 1 seed. Yeah, I think that home court advantage is enough of a factor for them because they're out of the way in Milwaukee. Like, if a team like Miami or Brooklyn has to go up to Milwaukee, like, that is a very far distance to travel.
Yeah.
And I get it, like, going to those places is also a far distance to travel, but, like, you know, I think home court advantage is very important no matter who you are. And it can only help you. You're right. I don't think they have to win the East by like 10 games this year like they usually do, but I do think they have to be the 1 seed to be really, really good in the playoffs.
That's fair.
But yeah, he's my MVP pick. I don't think his numbers are going to drop off, and I think enough people are going to talk about how he should be the MVP that people are going to speak it into existence.
My MVP pick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's a hot take. Be prepared to be blown away. It is Nicole Jokic of the Denver Nuggets.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Thank you. I think he has been like, everyone has been like, the Nuggets are a big team now. They've been like the 2 seed. They made it to the conference finals against the Lakers. Like, prior to last season, I would say no, just because, one, I don't think he's quite on that MVP level yet, but also like a lot of it is, it's the Nuggets. It's not like this huge popular team. They're not like a sexy pick or whatever. But now they have like guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Bol Bol, which bring attention. They've made it to the conference finals. They came back from 3-1 twice. It's a big meme. So that's there. They're getting more and more media attention, and Jokic has only been getting better. And I think people are just going to start seeing that. And like if they're the 2 seed again, like the top 2 or 3 team, I think he's going to get some buzz.
I love that pick for MVP. That is a really great pick. And you're right. Like, the Nuggets could very well, like, I mean, obviously, like, we both have the Lakers running away with it. But there is a world in which the Nuggets get the 1 seed. And it's not all that far off. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think if a team that's not the Lakers gets the 1 seed, I think it's going to beat the Nuggets. Just because, like, they got guys who are going to take another step. Michael Porter, Bol Bol. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray might be an all-star this year. Like, let's see if he can do it outside of the bubble. And then Jokic, like, obviously both the best player and the X factor. Yep. Like, that is, I really like that pick. And he's always, like, kind of in the conversation. Yeah. Like, he's never like that. People are never talking about him as the MVP that seriously, but he's always a guy that people are like, he might get a couple votes. Like, right. I think he's finished top 10 in MVP voting the last couple years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that pick a lot, actually. I didn't even really think about him.
Yeah, my list was very wonky this year, but I feel like that's the nice thing about like this season is like now Giannis has won a bunch of awards. Rookie of the Year is always interesting. Sixth Man of the Year is different because it's like, last year's Sixth Man is now in a different situation where he might not be on the bench anymore. MIP is always a toss-up. It's like I feel like this year's lists were specifically very fun to make.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is it was a really fun list to make. I had to think about, I mean, like MVP kind of was a little easy for me, but like pretty much everything else I had to really consider because I was like, well, there's this factor and this factor and
right.
Actually, honestly, most improved player was probably the most fun one for me because I was like, well, pretty much theoretically anybody could win it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is most improved player, like you can predict it all you want, but it's really like you never know going into the season.
Yeah. I think Jamal Murray is a guy that is going to get some consideration if he makes an all-star team, which is up in the air.
You got to see how he plays.
But if he makes an all-star team, man, like, and he scores like 23 to 25 points a game.
The Nuggets are serious,
some
man.
Assists in there. Nuggets are serious. The Nuggets, I'm taking the Nuggets seriously this year. I'm not saying they're gonna go to the finals or anything, but like they might. Like I would not be shocked if they're representing the West come July or whenever the finals are gonna be.
Yeah.
Actually, I would be shocked because the NBA doesn't like it when small market teams make the finals, and they're gonna do everything they can to make sure that the Lakers or Clippers or Warriors are better.
No, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they're a very good team.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
All right, is that
all we got?
All
yeah,
we got?
Sweet. Remember, if you made it to this point, like and subscribe. Comment below anything that you disagree with, or anything that you agree with, or whatever you want to comment. I'm pretty active on like responding to stuff. Why
we're stupid.
Yeah, like Noah in the last one just commented like Simbular, so I didn't know how to comment to that. But like usually, I'm pretty active in comments if we get one ever.
Yeah.
So like that's there. Yeah. The description's gonna have our individual channels, our Twitter, the podcast email, Aiden's football article. Have you written a new one yet, or is that in the works?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Okay.
But I probably will eventually. And
cool.
Also, season starts in 4 days.
Season starts very soon. So next podcast
so
we will be
next
podcast we're talking about the season. So
we're gonna be watching so much basketball. We'll be recording it on the 26th. So we'll be talking about all the Christmas games, how good all the Christmas games were, or how bad all the Christmas games were.
Well,
we figured out that the Knicks do not play on Christmas this year.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I thought that the Knicks have play every year, so I was a little surprised about that. But good on us. I mean, #blessed. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really fun first week. I'm excited to see how all these guys play. So yeah.
I think that's all we got. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.